So you've got as a family, then you've got obviously medium term and then long term plans, and that's where you include the kids. Like, okay, in about 5 years, we want to do such and such, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, both of our sons are already saving for their first car, and they can go into
Cool.
their bank and check out their money. And my little 9-year-old has $1,500 saved for his first car. And so you can absolutely bring your kids into that, because what you want to show them is the reward. If you're financially solid and you're financially fiscal, you're going to have a car and your friends won't. But you started saving when you were 4 years old where they didn't. And so it's really important to absolutely give your kids goals. It's important to help them put a savings plan together. It's important for you to help them manage those funds. I mean, that is just imperative. But what Bethany and I really believe is that the love and the money aspect are really long-term, are what can affect their relationship the most. Because I guarantee you, my oldest son is probably most likely going to find somebody that he's financially compatible with, and that they appreciate the saving and they appreciate the risk-taking and they understand that risk versus reward. So he's already going to remove so much of the pain in that relationship. Of course, he'll have his mom and dad coaching him the whole way, but he'll relieve a lot of that
I don't think
pain.
they want to hear about
Yeah,
it.
probably not. Probably not from us anyways, but at least he's hopefully read the book by then. He's going to take away a lot of the pain.
You know, it's really interesting. Cole said to me the other day, he said, you know, Mom, I just don't understand girls. And I said, because he's 9. And I said, you know what, honey, I'm not surprised. I said, you know what, there's a lot of really good tools out there that can help you, a lot of good books. You read a couple really good books, that's going to really get you off to the good start. And then he said, you know what, Mom, the first book I'm going to read is First Comes Love, Then Comes Money. And I was like, you know what was cool about that, not that it was our book, but that he understood it was a relationship book. And that's what it's all about. It's money, but then it's the relationship side. That's what we want to model for our kids. Yes, good financial planning, that's so important. But more important than that is modeling a good financial relationship.
The reality is, and Bethany and I, as being financial planners for a lot of years now,
Yes.
we've had highs and lows in the stock market here in the U.S. A lot of highs and a lot of lows. And so what we've been able to model for our children, and what is so important to model for your children, is as you go through the highs and the lows of money, there's times where you have more than you need, and there's times where you have a lot less than you need, that if you want to stay positive, and you want to stay focused, and you want to stay in a relationship that is moving forward, you have to know how to deal with that. That's life. I mean, that's just our reality, is that there's good times and there's bad times. But if you keep that consistency in a relationship, and you use those as teaching experiences, not only for yourself, but also for your kids, you're giving them more than most parents can.
So basically what you're teaching your children is emotional intelligence, and to take the emotion out of investing, really, isn't it?
Yes, well, and like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, how important it is to realize that this is who you are. And you can't, you know, it's interesting, we were interviewed the other day, and the gentleman who was interviewing it said, yes, my wife says I'm cheap all the time. I said, you're not cheap, you're a saver. And he said, oh, I'm a saver, like that's okay. And we all want to be validated for who we are. And your money personality really controls a lot of the way and the things that you think about. So we need to validate each other. We need to make sure that we say there's no right money personality, there's no wrong money personality, because we are who we are. And let's make sure that we understand that, especially inside of the relationship and as we model for kids as well.
One of the things that we don't do well as a couple is we don't celebrate the victories too.
Yes.
Bethany's risk-taking has made us good chunks of money in the past. My security seeking
Has
saved us a little bit of money in the past. So by understanding that the money personalities are different, and not only by understanding that, by understanding why her money personalities have been great for our family, and why my money personalities have been much better for our family. Just kidding. But why both of our money personalities have complemented each other, and that's why we're ahead in a lot of ways. So understanding how to mix those money personalities, but appreciate it. Trust Bethany when I need to step out of my comfort zone, which isn't always easy, and vice versa. It's really benefited our family a lot over the last 14 years.
So you use the word complement rather than opposite, and I love that, because yeah, you're finding the strength in somebody else who sees an opportunity, whereas you would say, no, we're not going to go for it, and ultimately it works. Now, that's fantastic if you've got those two people sitting down and being honest with each other and saying, yes, I honor you in that sense. Some people can't get past that, and you obviously, as try as you may, you have them in front of you, time and time again, they're not going to budge from their position. Do you actually just say to them, look, guys, get a prenup?
Okay, there are instances when we do suggest that, but what's really important too, before we get into the prenup conversation, and that is that the whole art of compromise has really, we've all fallen short in that. We think that our way is the right way. My risk-taking is the right way. Scott will hold on to his security-seeking way, and that's the right way. Well, where's the happy medium inside of that? Somewhere. There is a happy medium. And we find that there's sometimes when couples just read our book, or they try to understand a financial relationship just to check it off, but really they've kind of left the relationship anyway. But if both people are really committed to each other, they really want a good relationship, and they want to get on the same page, whew, we've seen relationships transform. Where prenuptial agreements come into play, it can actually, there's a couple different situations where they're really actually very important. One is in a second marriage kind of scenario. Another is in a family business. When someone is marrying into a family business, there can be a lot of misunderstandings. And if we take the whole concept of prenuptial agreement and take it aside for just a minute and say, what's the purpose for a prenuptial agreement? The purpose is for clarity. Mm-hmm. And we are all for upfront clarity. We have seen the worst money fights. We've seen horrible family tragedy over money. And what's the most important thing is that we're clear. Not that we're focusing on that the end of a prenup is a divorce. No, an end of a prenup could quite possibly be a death, in terms of making things clear of the